Hello and welcome back to the channel. Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench. And here we are now with part 15 of the build of this Pocher 1/8 scale Lamborghini Aventador. The Giallo something or other. But it's an LP-700 anyway. So we've reached step 36 of the manual. And now it's time to be looking at fitting the kick plates, the actual doors themselves. And then we've got these little hydraulic rams, and then we're going to fit the actual front end. So quite a lot going on here, and the model's going to really start to take shape now. So first things first, we'll do a kick plate on this side. So I've got the double-sided tape on the back. So I'm going to grab my knife, which is underneath my screws over here, Mr. Unprepared, and we'll grab the paper off of here and leave the tape on the back, as you can see. Make sure you get the right side. You've got an angled section at the rear, and it's thicker at the rear as well. We've got two holes in there, so that's literally just going to go down in there and press down into those holes. There we are. Just like so. And it pops back out again. That's a bit strange. It looks like the holes don't line up with the pins. Okay. So I have to lift the body up and have a look at it from the side to see what's going on here. The pin is not lining up with the hole, so I'll put the front one in first and we'll see what happens. Or is it that the hole is too small? Right, the pin's gone in that one, pin's gone in that one. There we go, it's all gone in. It was just, I think it was probably some paint in the hole. So there we are, so that's that all done. Got a nicely painted Aventador badge. Now it's time to fit the door, and hopefully I can make the body stay like this. So I can show you what's going on, because basically they don't tell you in the instructions about fitting this door. Now you can see on here that this hinge, you'd think you'd just drop the door in like that, but it's not. What you've got to do is you've got to take the hinge and turn it like that, because it's going to go, it doesn't go that way round, it's going to go the other way round. So I'm going to turn that and then slot it in there, push it down in. It's not easy. If you're a youngster building one of these, you might want to get an adult to do it. Okay, and we're going to hold that in place, and then we need B screws. So I'm going to pull this door down like so and close it. Okay, and hold it in place. Now I need B screws. As usual, I should have prepared myself. But what I should be able to do is put a screw in that hole with my fingers. No, I can't. Where are my tweezers? Where have they gone? Here they are. Should be able to put that in that hole. Oh, come on. Oh, for crying out loud, just get in the bloody hole. Hey, at last. And I can do that screw up. I don't quite know what's going on here. I need to stand up. I cannot see what's going on here. The screw is not threading in. Yes, it is now. And as I always say, these holes are tapped already, so they go in a lot easier than if you don't tap them already. Where's that screw gone? That's scratching the paintwork. Okay, so now I'm going to try and open this door, which is easier said than done. God blimey. I'm going to put the model back down on its base, but I don't want that door to fly open, because I'm worried that it's going to fly open and break the hinge or scratch some paint or something. There we go, you can just get your finger in there and pull it out, and then it will go up like so. I'm going to put something on there protect the paintwork there. We'll put a piece on the other side while we got the tape out. It's there, it's hitting. There we go. Alright, and now I can lift the card back up again. And now we can get a screw into here. There we are. So that is that door in place. What you do is just close it and push the window up against there, and that's what keeps it closed. Shame about the colour match there. I don't know if you can see it on the camera very well, but it's not a good colour match. That's unfortunate. So there we go. So that's that side done. So just got to repeat on the other side. What we do want to do is see how this door opens. So it does, it absolutely flies up, look. So we do need some weight in it to slow it down, and also if you just let it go, just going to go bang into there. In fact, it's already marked that tape. I want another layer on there. Oh, no, we'll just keep it shut. Probably this model is probably just left, best put on a shelf and left alone, because it's asking for trouble if you keep playing with it, I think. Right, so then this side we'll remove the tape once again, just like so. Put the panel down. I should have checked the fit first, shouldn't I? Oh, this side's better than the other side, it looks like. Nope. The way to do it is put the front pin in first. For some reason that just hit, won't go the other way around. It's strange. There we go, that's that down. So now we can get ourselves prepared with a screw on the screwdriver and get the model up on its side again for your delectation. And then we can turn this hinge, get it into the socket, and then bring the door down like so. And then take the screwdriver and put the screw in the hole. This one's going in much easier than the other side did. Pulling that in, and then we can get under the door, lift it out, get it open, and then we'll get another B screw and put it in that hole there. Now there is a video, if you look on my playlist, I think it's the third one down, there is a video that shows doing this. Just look at these screws here, are loose. There we go. So that is the doors done. You'll be careful not to let them fly open because they're going to wreck your paintwork if you do. So I'm going to speak to Hornby about these weights. I don't know if it's just my kit missing them or if they've stopped doing them or don't know what, but it certainly needs them to slow those doors down. So there we go. So all we've got to do now is fit the actual main front end. I nearly forgot these. These are little rams for the cylinders. We've got the two end screws and those little rams which are WR02. So what I'm going to do is get it up on its side again. We'll get this door open if we can. There we go, get that up there. And then we can, you can see what's going to happen here, can't you? Ah! Maybe these actually stop it opening all the way. Surely it's going to snap them off, surely. Just let this go a minute so I can prepare a screw. Stick a screw in there. I missed the bloody hole. Duh. This is awkward, guys. There we go, we're in the hole, we're in the hole. There you go, we're in. Right, I've got the front end here, ready to drop on. So hopefully I can just drop this in. No, it won't let me drop it in because the doors are in the way. But in the Pocher video, the guy fits the doors without the front end on. I wonder if I open the doors, can I get the front end on? Oh, come on. Can we get the front on if we open the doors? The answer to that is no, because the door's open too far. Oh, this is just a joke. There we go. If you let the front go down and the doors close at the same time, oh, careful. Why won't you stay shut now? Sorry guys, I just hit the camera with my head. Right. Now we want two, what was it, F screws? There's two F screws going at the bottom, and then we're going to turn it over and we're going to put three A screws in from underneath. So I want two F screws, here's one. So that's going to go into there. It's not lining up. How am I going to pick this model up now? Ugh. You can see what we're doing here. Oh, there we go. Pull the front right down and it lines up. I think what I'll do, now that I've got it up on its side, I think I'll put an A screw in the front. These are the big M3 screws. Be nice and strong. Just get that one up in the front there. There's another one going to go in here underneath the A pillar. There we are. So now we've got to turn it over. Yeah. What I'll do, I'll grab another F screw. I just want the one, thank you. that's going in there, like so, and then we want another A screw, just one please, thank you, and that can go into there. There we are. Right, so that's the front end fitted. How's it looking? Ugh. I'll tell you what, the door mechanism is awful, but the actual fit of the doors is lovely. Just wonder if I can get this door open. Yeah, the actual fit of... Oh, I see. The front stops it, look. Oh, there's me blabbing on about having the damage here. The front end stops the hinges going any further. Excellent. Okay, I take back what I said. So now I've got to try and get that back together. There's my tweezers. Am I going to be able to get that to go into that rod? I'm not, am I? I'm going to have to take it off again. So we need to keep those together. There's no way that's going to go back together, so I've got to try and get in there. Get that screw out. Just like that. We'll leave that on the screwdriver. We'll slide that into there. And then we'll attempt there we are. Okay, so I take back all I said. So yeah, we need some weight in the doors to slow them down. I'm going to contact Hornby to find out if it's just that my parts are missing or if they've stopped doing them. And I'm going to do the same as you've just seen me do on the other side. It's getting really heavy now. And get that ram back into connection. So now you can see door closed, door open. You can see the it does need slowing down so that it comes up slower. But I mean, you're not going to play with it anyway, and I think it's probably best not to. You know, you keep opening this trunk, you're gonna damage the paint here. You know, it's just keep playing with it. It's going to damage it. So what we're looking at next in the instructions. So that is step 36 complete, I believe. There we go. So step 37, we're going to fit the inner wheel arches. I was going to paint them, but to be honest, I'm running out of LP5 paint, and I think it's probably quite I mean, they are black plastic, which I didn't want to be able to see, but you know, it's going to use, I've got to do this under tray as well, and I'm going to use a boatload of black paint on that. So I don't really know what to do. I'll make my mind up because I've got to go to the dentist now. I'll make my mind up, and when I come back, I'll let you know what I've decided. Alright, moving forward, just looking at these wheels and tyres. I got them off the sprue. I've cleaned off the sprue nibs. I was looking at painting them, but I've looked at the shape of the wheels and everything, and they're a very nice glossy plastic. Unfortunately, they do look like glossy plastic, but I don't really want to paint them, because one of the biggest problems with gloss paint, especially when the weather is a little bit warmer like it is now, it tends to dry very fast, even though I've got retarder in it. And the trouble is, I'm going to have to come in here and get these angles in here, and then come in here and get these angles in there. And by the time I've painted this side, I'm going to get overspray, and it's going to be a nightmare. So I think if you want to paint them, you need to be able to just, you know, paint them from the front face and get some real slow drying paint or something. I don't know. But I'm not going to chance it. I'm going to leave them because they look great as they are. And I'm just going to leave them as they are. That's basically it. I'm happy with how they look. There's a tiny little bit of flash on there. I'm just going to get that off. There we go. But yeah, they're really nice. You've got fronts and backs, obviously skinnies and wides. Now fitting these tyres is impossible. So as they say in the manual, use a hairdryer. What's this one? This is a 2000 watt So I've got it on the hottest setting, lowest speed, and just going like this. And what I'm using to test is, as you can see, when the tyre is cold, it's very difficult to bend. So what I'm doing is just heating it up evenly on both sides. Trying not to, I was going to put them in the oven, but I thought I might distort the actual main tread part of the tyre and it might end up like a balloon. So I'm just doing this until I can squeeze the tyre like that, okay? And I'm going to put the tyre down on its front face. You see these angled grooves here, they've got to be on the outside. So what we're going to do is push the wheel into the tyre like that. It's still very tough, but you don't want to risk getting the tyre too hot, because you may end up, like I say, you may end up turning it into an egg or a balloon or something. But do that, and once it's on, and they fit really nicely. Which is nice to see, because some car tyres these days are awful, aren't they, as you know. Those ones in the Revell Ford GT, for example, they're disgusting. So there we are. So that's the outside one. I'll do one more inner. I may as well do it on camera. So we'll get the heat on it. You can see I can hardly squeeze it. And just keep going there. Get some heat into it. There we are, outside edge down, push the wheel in. Just like so. Ugh. As you can see, it's bloody tough. If you're a youngster doing this, or someone with, impaired strength or whatever, go and grab yourself someone to do it for you. But as I say, I wouldn't risk getting the tyres too hot, because if you distort them, they might end up ballooning or going concave or whatever, and they'll look awful. So just get them hot enough that you can just flex them. So that's those done. Right, what's going to be next? And we're back, having done the wheels and everything, we're back. Right, so got this upside down now, as you can see, ready to fit these wheel arches. I've decided not to paint them, purely because, as I said, I've used so much bloody paint, I'm running out, and I'm not going to be able to do anything else, and I'm certainly not going to put an order in for one jar of paint. And you're not really going to see any of this anyway. As I said, all of this work I've done, and I've said all the way through the build, all of this detail painting and filling holes and painting these subframes gloss black and everything, has all been a complete and utter waste of time, but I did it just to show you what you can achieve by not going out of the box if you want to spend some extra time on it. But basically all of this is going to be completely hidden up by a belly. You're not going to see any of it. So that was why I didn't worry about these gaps in the bottom of the cylinder heads and stuff. So these wheel arches, these are the front ones with the hole in. So this one is this one. So that's going to go into there somehow. There we go. You've got to fangle it in. And then the screw holes should line up, I'm guessing. There we are. See, that's got a clip in place. And then we've got B screws. So we'll get a few of these B screws out here. Put that on the end of there, and then we can run a screw. We'll go through there and into there. Just start that one off, and then we can run another one in. As I always say, remember these holes are tapped, so that's why you'll see me screwing these in easily. Whereas if you watch Moss, you'll see him struggling to get the screws in because he doesn't tap the holes. There we go, so that's that one in. We'll go down through there. That's that one in. So have I screwed that back in enough? I don't think I tapped that hole deep enough. Did I? Okay, I'm going to have to look at that back in a sec. Okay, so it would appear that hole, it's this hole here that's in this bulkhead, isn't deep enough for the B screw. Now there is a shorter screw there, but I don't want to use it because I may need it somewhere else. So if we do have any left at the end, I can just turn the wheels, get underneath and screw that and replace it with a shorter screw. I mean, it doesn't really matter, it's just that it's not holding the back end solid. It just means you can see how much it moves. It's, in fact, it could do with being held in because it's visible there, isn't it? Why didn't they put a screw in there as well? Oh dear, dear, dear. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to put the other screw in. It's the F screw. There's a few in there. I'm not sure if they're needed anywhere else. There's this little F screw here, which I think is 2.6. You see that goes in, and now that's holding it down and it's pulling that back. So I'm using the F screw there instead of the B screw. We'll see if we need them anywhere else. Right, so now we're going to fit a rear. So this is a rear, and the square bit goes to the back. So this bit here, that square bit goes to the rear. So that's going to go into there somehow, just like that. And then again, we've got two B screws holding this in. So let's see if we have better luck with these. That one's going in all right. And that one's going in all right. The caliper's in the way of the screwdriver, but never mind. There we go. So that's a lot more successful. So what we can do now is turn the whole thing around and do the other side. See you in a minute. Okay, so time to fit the wheels and the brakes. So, remember we did our brakes with the carbon fibre look on them? So they can slot into there now, and then we've got this little handbrake caliper. Now that little handbrake caliper is going to fit into this little bracket here. Obviously I can't put that in until the brake is in place. So I'm going to put a drop of super glue in here. I've removed some of the paint. So I'm just going to put a drop of super glue in there. And then drop the caliper in. Drop the disc in, sorry, and then I'm going to drop that caliper on so that it locates in that slot. I don't think I'm getting it in the slot properly. There we go. That could just sit there and be left to dry. The front one, the front one's just going to literally pop in like that. So I think on the front we can pop a front wheel on. So basically those discs have got like a lug in them. You can see there's a lug and there's a slot in there, so it's basically the wheel is going to fit into the disc like that, as you can see. So what we're going to do is put the disc in with the lug at 12 o'clock. We'll make sure the slot is at 12 o'clock. Then we can drop the wheel in just like that. Grab an A screw, and that's just going to go in there. And I'm guessing, yeah, if you do it up, the wheel won't turn. If you leave the screw loose, it's going to undo the screw. So what we need to do there is take this screw out, get some of my thread lock. You can use any thread lock. It doesn't need to be this one. This is just the Tamiya one because it's in here. I've got lots of different types. If you're going to go out and get some thread lock, the one I'd recommend is one that's like a French blue colour, because it doesn't go as rock solid as some of them. Some of the thread locks you can buy today are extremely, they're like they like weld the bloody thing in. You don't want to be using those. Okay, now I've taken some of that off with my finger because I put too much on there. So we can get that back on the screwdriver. You only need a tiny little drop of thread lock. And then what we'll do is we'll screw that screw into there, just like so. And then you don't want the wheel to have any play in it, you just want it to, there we go. So that'll stay like that. There's a centre cap that goes in there with a Lamborghini badge on it. I'm not going to put those in yet because I might decide to take the wheels off, because at the end of all this, I don't know, one day I might decide to take all this apart and paint the body. But why am I putting the thread lock away? Because I need it for the others, don't I? Duh. Okay, so that caliper is tacked off now. So we can get a rear wheel. Get the slot at 12 o'clock. Drop that on there. It would be awkward, wouldn't it? Because it knows it's going to break that rear caliper off. Gotcha. Get another screw A. Tiny little drop of thread lock. And screw that one in. I'm off camera, aren't I? Sorry, guys. There we go, that's that one in. So now you can see we've got our lovely carbon fibre brakes behind the wheel with our lovely yellow calipers. So there we go. Right, so we can put that down there, and then we can turn it over and do the other side. Okay, so moving along, we're now going to look at these side pieces here. So I've already painted these with the satin black. So I've got the radiators off here, the cooling fans, and the fan motors. We've got some PE we're going to need there as well. I've got these off now so I can get them painted. And then going over the page, we're going to do the other side. And then looking forward here, I've already done this piece here, K01. I've already done that, and that's done with the satin black already. So we've got this rear piece here, which is E05. And then we've got E04, which is going to glue onto the top of it. It makes this sort of spoiler affair around the exhaust. Now, so if we put those to one side, obviously I'm going to paint the radiator silver and the rest I'm going to paint black. This here, this is the rear part. This is E05, and that's the main under sort of diffuser that's going to come from the floor pan. As you can see, just like with the dashboard, it's got you can see loads of mould flow lines in it. You can't feel them. There's nothing there that you can feel, but you can certainly see them. So I would seriously recommend painting this with a a satin black or a semi-gloss black or whatever, just to get rid of all that. The other thing to look at, we've got ejector pin marks here, 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 and here. Okay, and they're all going to be visible. There's also ejector pin marks under here, which you're going to see if you look underneath. There's one in the middle as well. Now this is going to basically glue onto here like that, and then we've got some PE going in there. But you can see that we've got a gap here. Now I'm going to check the references. I'm not sure if that gap's supposed to be there or not, but if it's not, we'll fill that and sand it out and blend it out and everything so it all looks lovely. But the first thing we've got to do is get those ejector pin marks there filled in, because obviously once this goes on, we can't get to them to sand them. So we can still see them, but we can't get to them to sand them. So I'm going to get some super glue in there, some of the black super glue in there, and get those filled in. Okay, so we can wait for that to dry, and I may as well, while I've got the super glue here, I may as well go on and do those there and those there. I've also got some scratches there where I scraped, so I can fill them in. And there we go, guys. So I'm going to carry on filling those, and when it's dry we'll sand it, get it painted, and then I'll come back and see you when that's all done. Although no, we're going to look at the gluing on first, aren't we? Okay, so we've got those ejector pin marks done. I've just got to sand that one out there. We've got rid of them under here. So I'm just going to sand that one out there, get rid of that one, because we can now glue this little spoiler winglet thing, whatever it is, we can glue this onto the bottom. So that is basically going to go into those two holes there, like so. Now I've had a look at some images of the real thing, and this is like one piece. There's no seam there whatsoever, so that's all got to be blended in. And then we've got these photo etch pieces that are going to go on the back. And as you can see, these have to have this bottom leg bent over, and that is going to go. And we've also got a kink in it there, just where the edge of where that edge is there, the radius part. You can see I've just put a little kink in it, and that will go down over that pin there. I'm sorry, this is all black; it's difficult to see. And then that will go over that pin there. And that is all going to glue together from behind once we've got that seam done. Okay, so once that's done, we'll get that seam done, we'll get this all glued together. Now I'm going to put a nice big dollop of the glue in there, and I'm going to put some glue in the hole, and we'll put some more glue in that hole, like so. I just want to remove the excess on the surface. I've got none on that surface, but there was some on the inside there. So now we can fit this into there, and, whoops, into there and into there. Okay, just like that. And now we can get our super glue and we can fill up this gap. It'll capillary in and it'll make it a nice strong joint. But then once it's dry, we'll have to put another layer on because we'll have a step there. We're basically going to blend all this out so that it becomes like one. Get some in there as well. Obviously, guys, you don't have to do this if you don't want to, but if you're looking at making your model just more represent the real thing, then I'm showing you how you can go about it. I'm making a mess of my nice clean mat at the same time. Okay, so we'll let that go off. As I say, that's all going to capillary in, so we can put plenty on. There we go. So there we are. We've got that glued ready. Let that dry. Sand it back, and then we'll put some more in. As I say, it's all capillary in like crazy. But it can only take so much. So at some point, it's got to stop. There we go. Right, let that go. See you later. A little while later, as you can see, all sanded out, gaps filled with the VMS Black Thin 5K CA. So that's all cool. So there we are. Right. So we can do some more polishing on there. So I'm going to get something. I've got an 800 grit here. I'm just going to use this sponge. I'll just take away any sharp edges. Just get rid of the sanding marks because I've been using a 400 grit sanding stick. So give it a good coat of paint and it'll cover all that up. And you can, like I say, it just looks so much better, doesn't it? With what all blended in, you can see that edge there. It's all blended in and smooth. So it looks like one piece, especially when it's painted. And all those ejector pin marks up here are gone as well, and those in there as well. So now we've got to fit these grills. So as I say, I've folded the bottoms over 90 degrees, give them a little tweak. So they've got a little bend in them. And then this one is going to pop over that pin there. And then just go down into the groove it has to sit in. And then that one is going to pop onto that pin there. That is a really snug fit, so that's good. Okay, so we need a bit more of a bend here. You can see we've got a gap there. the top, so I'm going to pop this back off. Let's get a knife in here and just pop that back off. There we go. And the bend is where the angle changes. So I can, once again, I just put it on the edge of the bench and just give it a little tweak. See how that looks? It's just going to be a case of trial and error with this. And now you can see I've got a bit too far because I've got, it's baggy on the end here and it's baggy there. We don't want any bagginess. We want it all to be nice and snug, so that the super glue is not under any tension. We don't want it to be wanting to spring out, if you know what I mean. So you want to try and get it so that it's so I'm just going to relieve that slightly. You just want to get it so there's no, you know, it's not sort of held under tension, it's just sat there on its own and the glue is just keeping it there. It's not having to hold it in place, otherwise one day it'll just go bing. So there you can see that's in there perfect now, there's no gaps around there. So all we've got to do is get our super glue on the end of our applicator and we're going to run it into these gaps here. It doesn't need to look pretty because it's on the back. We're just going to run it into those gaps and let it capillary in, just like so. And there we are, put some in there on the end. It's nice they've put a big flange on here. Some of the other grills has got a very small flange, so you run the risk of getting the glue in the holes. So if you do that, just immediately soak it out with a cotton bud. And that is the beauty of this VMS stuff, guys. It doesn't dry instantly like most super glues. You've got plenty of time to work with it. I'm going to put some on that pin as well. Just like so. And there we are. Put some around the top. As I say, let it capillary in. And that is there forever. And if you notice, I'm doing it before paint. That way, if we do get any glue oozing out on that side, we won't get a little shiny patch. I'm looking in there, I can see daylight. It doesn't really matter because when it's on the model, you won't be able to see daylight. That's better. There you can see that's in there. Glued in, nice and solid. Okay, so I'll do the other side exactly the same. And then I'll get it painted. See you in a sec. There we go. All painted. All looking good. That's just in Mr. Surfacer Black 1500. So there we go. That's all ready to go. No seams now. All nice and smooth along that edge, which is what we want. Lots of cleanup required on this. There's mould seam all the way around there, so make sure you get rid of that and get that nice smooth edge rather than the rough mould seam. It'll look much better. So I previously painted these side intake parts. You can see I've painted these radiators, this radiator in sparkling silver. We've got the fan, plastic body, and we've got the actual fan itself. So the fan itself is going to pop into there like that. We are going to grab a screw K. K is after J Nige. There you go. You should know your alphabet about 55 years ago, mate. And there we go. So that's going to go in there. So here we go. So that's just going to pop into there like that. And the fan can turn, as you can see. And then this is going to get glued into the radiator and it's going it's going that way up. Okay, so make sure you get it the right way up, because they aren't the radiators are the same, the actual fan bodies are the same, and you'll notice I'm using clear super glue, and you'll see why in a minute. Okay, so that can just stick down there and dry. Right, so make sure we've got no glue on our fingers. We haven't. Take the side piece. I've previously glued these pieces of photo etching because I wanted to put them in and let them dry for a good 12-18 hours, because they don't have a very large contact area. You can see I've put glue around the bottom edge, and I've put glue on those pieces and one little drop in there, but don't glue this edge because it's all mesh and it will just lock up and look horrible. So they're glued in nice and solid. So now we can fit this sort of intake trim in, the air intake for the radiator, and that's going to be 2 screw eyes. So there's 1, 2 of those. Excuse me. So that can go in there, and then that one can go into there. Just like so. There we are, that's that all put together. Nice. And then this radiator can drop into there. And this is why I've used the clear glue, because of this plastic. I don't know if you can see it, but we can just see the end of that screw there. I don't know if you can make it out. But because this plastic is so translucent, if you like, the black glue would show through. So what I'm doing is using clear so we don't get that issue. So there we go. Get a nice big drop of glue in there. And then we can just plonk that radiator into there. Just like so. Nice snug fit. That'll just sit there. So that's our side skirts, and here's the one I've done previously off camera. So we've got those 2 done. So that is that. So now we can move on to this belly, and we can build up this the rest of this piece here, the rear venturi. So we can get that done. I'm not going to paint this under tray. It's pointless because you're not going to see any of it at all. Yeah, and we've got to add that piece in the middle there. Now it's not saying to glue it, so obviously it's going to clip in. So I'm going to get those parts ready. We've got this part here, K01. That's all painted, ready to go. So that's good. We're going to have to add that bit of PE on there. We'll use the clear on there again for obvious reasons. So I'll see you in a second. Okay, so just to give you an idea of time, guys, it is currently the 11th of July 2024. So yeah, last night was the England-Holland game, or England-Netherlands game, which they won in the Euros. And as you know, we've just last week got a new government in place. So if I'm not mentioning current affairs, that's why. It's because you're seeing this like in August, you know, a month ahead. So or a month behind, if you like. So yeah, I mean, I may have got another dog by now. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, so that's why I'm not talking about current affairs. So if you're watching other videos that I'm putting out, you know, at the same time, and I'm talking about completely different stuff, that's why. Right, so we've got these side pieces together. So now we need to look at this big under tray. I'm going to get the rear venturi on. We're going to get the front spoiler up together. I've done this. I fitted this mesh onto here. Okay, so that's all on and everything, all glued on nicely. Basically, just it's what is it, 94mm wide, I think. So I just folded it in the middle, and then folded those tabs over, just glued it on, and that's it. That's what you can see from the front. On the top of here, you've got all these ejector pin marks. I've sanded those in case they affect the fit anywhere, but they're not going to be visible. Don't worry about it. When I first saw it, I thought, oh no, what have they done? You know, they've painted the bottom and not the top. But this goes up underneath the body, so we're not going to see any of that. So we need to start putting this together. Now I did mention I wasn't going to paint this, and now I know I really am not going to paint it because Pocher have given that a nice satin black finish for us, which is lovely. Shame they didn't do all the other plastic parts. If they'd done this on the dashboard and the door cards and everything, it would make it lovely, wouldn't it? But no, they've painted this beautifully. So thank you for that, Pocher. Now this panel here, it's going to go in. I'm guessing it's just going to clip in. Is it? Yep, that's it. It just clips in like that. That's it. Done. Job done. Right. So so that's there. Right. So we've got to do. Let's build up this rear venturi first. So we've got this exhaust. We've already done the bits of etch. We've already done that. So we've got this exhaust is going to go into here. So that's going to go in like that. This is like an exhaust tip. There we go. So those lugs on the side are going to sit over, and then we're going to get 2 K screws. There's 1. And there's 2. I know some of you wanted to see this as well, didn't you? You wanted to see this dog in the video. Watch it on. It's now 7.5 weeks since we lost Jess, and it's still bloody horrible. Still think about her nearly every bloody minute of every day. I dream about her all the time as well, which is cruel, being cruel to myself. I wake up at night. Bloody awful. So, there we go. Okay, so that's the exhaust in there. Alright, that's nice. And then this is going to screw. We're going to have to move Doggo out of the way. Go put Doggo over there. And this is going to screw into here. Screws from the top down, yeah? Yep, screws from the top down. So we've got 3 eye screws. That's going to sit like that. I'm going to put that screw into there. Go on. It's quite awkward actually doing that. Obviously not tightening anything up. And that one's going to go into there. And then that one's going to go into there. There we are. So there we go, that's our rear end on. And that satin black matches lovely, doesn't it? That's pretty cool. So that's our rear end done. Now we've got to have a look at the front. So we've done that piece of PE. So we've got this piece here. I can't really see which way up it goes. I guess that's going to stick up because the bottom's flat, so it's going to go like that, isn't it? Yeah, it's not going to go like that, is it? It's going to go like that. So those lugs are going to sit in there, and then we've got 2 K screws. So we'll grab 2 K screws. I'm going to have to turn this around because I'm right-handed. I'm not ambidextrous. That's going to go in there, and then that one's going to go into there. Like so. Didn't have those tight enough. And now I'll turn this over, and this piece is going to go underneath, like, okay, it's going to sort of hook over like that then, right? Is it? It might be easier to fit that piece second. Okay, it's just pulling the photo etch, that's all. That's not very nice at all, is it, when you look at that? Perhaps when we put the body on, it's going to pull it down. We shall see, but there's two more, those H screws now. H screws, two of those, please. Thank you. Was H, wasn't it? Yep. So one in there. And I will pull these down because they're only pulling down, they're not, there's nothing else going on. And then one in there. I hope that's going to pull down in the middle because that looks bloody awful. What's happening is that... Oh, okay, I'm guessing that maybe that's supposed to be in front of it, not behind it. So I think what we'll do is remove... I wish these instructions were clearer. They could have done a lot better, couldn't they? So we'll remove this piece, if we can. There we go, and that's going to sit. Okay, that's better. Right, that's how it goes. So it's designed so that, put the yellow piece on first, and then fit this black piece in after. That lug on there is designed to fit in front of the mesh. There we go. One. There you go. Right. That's much better. Okay, that's good. Right. So yeah, that put this on first, put that on last. So that is that. So that's that all done. There we go. Now, I just remembered something I meant to say earlier. Here it's saying there's a metal sticker going on here. There are a couple of little LP-400 badges going on here. I think it's LP-400, isn't it? LP-700, whatever. I'm not putting those on in case I paint the model. As I've said a few times, I may well strip this and repaint it. We shall see. I don't know. Probably never will. Same reason I'm not fitting the wheel centre caps, because if I fit the centre caps to the wheels, I won't be able to get them off. I won't be able to get to the screws behind to take them off. So now we are basically going to finish this model off. We're going to fit the floor. Are we going to finish this off? No, we're going to finish this off in the next part. So the next part, part 16, will be the last one, and it's going to be quite a quick one because that's all we've got to do is cut the bits of photo etch, fit the floor, fit the side panels, and then we're going to fit the mirrors and the Lamborghini badge, which I may do because it's double-sided tape. So there we are. I will see you all for the next part. As I say, it's going to be a quickie, and then we'll have some pictures of the model or whatever. So I'll see you all soon. Thank you for watching.